I am going to show you guys how to work with one of my favorite plugins. It is called PaulXStretch. If you have not heard of it, it is a really good tool for creating atmospheric pads, drone sounds, things like that. And you can use any sample inside of it. So let's start with putting that in a track. Now, honestly, I don't mess with a lot of parameters in here. I only work with maybe one or two for the most part. So, yeah, you don't need to use a lot to get a lot out of it. So let's just start by, I have some samples. You'll have access to these samples so you can do it along with me if you'd like, or you can use your own sounds to try this out. Either way, I think that you'll find it is a really fun tool. So I'm going to use, let's use the wind chimes. So these are actually recorded from my house. These are my wind chimes. So all I'm going to do is drag it in, and it's going to be in here. I also like to change the settings so that it plays when the transport's running. It makes it a lot easier. And I'm going to leave this at 80. So what I'm going to do, so the stretch amount, you can just play with this. I'm going to stretch it out to about 8 seconds. So when I pull this down, they're like blurry transients. It's kind of grainier almost. So I actually like a higher number. So I also use the tonal versus noise function also a lot. Turn this up a little bit. So when you bring it down up here, you'll get more tonal stuff here. And you hear the whoosh. Get some noise, which is kind of interesting. So this could be a background. This could be for a transition. And then what I like to do is I like to put reverb. So if you don't already know, Valhalla has an excellent, excellent free reverb called Supermassive. I use it all the time. So it comes with a lot of presets. I do have one preset pack that I bought, but I use the presets a lot. There's nothing wrong with using presets. I'm all over that. So I'm going to use one that I like to use frequently, Leo Maximalism. And I'm going to turn the mix down a little bit. And then I'm going to play. So it kind of gives it an otherworldly kind of feel. And then if you want to get like really crazy, you can use like a filter, like an auto filter. Like let's pick one. Let's pick swirl. I'm gonna put it before the reverb. I also encourage you to like try to like switch the chain of your effects too, because it can give really interesting results that you may not have thought about. But here in this instance, I'm gonna put it before the reverb, and I'm gonna turn off the reverb so you can hear what this sounds like. So I'm just gonna turn the LFO amount down. Actually, let me turn the rate down. Yeah. It's already got some really interesting movement. So here's before. And then after. And then put the reverb on. And just for funsies, I'm gonna take a different part of this to play. I'm gonna turn down the stretch amount a little bit. So already sounding pretty cool. And we're just using one sample from wind chimes, okay? And 2 effects. So pretty cool. So when I have the setup that I want and I want to record it out, I probably don't do this the right way, but this is the way I do it and this is the way it works for me. So I'm going to show you. I'm just going to rename this Paul so I know what this is. And then I'm just going to have the audio going in, and I'm going to hit, I'm going to arm it. And then I'm just going to play it, and I'm going to record it. So right now it's recording with the audio effects on it. So you could just record the sound dry and then add different effects on the recorded audio, which I probably should have done. It doesn't matter. This is just for example purposes. So you can see that you can get this sound recorded. So I'll just pull back the volume before I stop it, so it has a nice fade out. And then you've got a nice atmospheric sound. So that is a really easy way to get some elements, you know, that are kind of spacey, ethereal type feeling. You can also, what's really cool is put like sequenced kind of stuff in here. So I'll show you an example of that. I will use a vocal that's actually from one of my sound packs that I made. So it's, you know, got a little bit of percussive feel to it. So I'm going to drag that into the same one. It's fine. We don't need to save the other one. And I'll just do the whole thing. Turn that off. Let me turn off these effects. Okay, so we got the sound in. We're going to start from the beginning. Oh, interesting when you turn that off, how different it sounds. a little trippy. So this is what I really like about doing music production this way, exploring and experimenting and playing with things, because I feel like a lot of things will show up when you're not tasked with really having to find mastery or write something really specific, or it's great when you have like a very strong idea in your head that you want to get out and get into the DAW. That's great when that happens, but I find that that's kind of hard to do, and so in doing it in this way, a lot of times things will just kind of show up in the exploration, in the play, and if you listen, yeah, things will just kind of show up. So for me, and hopefully for you, when you're in here trying to come up with ideas, they just kind of play off of each other when you start to do something. So you'll do one thing like putting this into PaulXStretch, you'll hear things, you'll play with things, and a lot of aha moments will show up. So that's what I kind of want to show you guys, that it doesn't have to be such a struggle when you come into a blank slate and be like, oh my God, what do I do? So, so let's turn this back on after my TED Talk. So I'm going to turn it back up. Okay, so now what I want to try. So there are a few really cool VSTs that are easy to use and quite fun, especially from Baby Audio. If you don't know Baby Audio, but they have a few cool free plugins that you can use, effect plugins, and one of which is called Magic Dice, which is it's based off of their Spaced Out VST, which I also have. So what's great about this is it has this, dice. So you just randomize and it will change every time you do that. So I'm going to play that again. I'm going to turn up the mix. So you could just go round and round and find some cool effects that just randomly come up. Oh, I kind of like that one. And then just for funsies, let's put a delay. And here again, I'm using presets of these effects. It's fine. Nothing wrong with presets. So let's do this. Actually, I'm going to do it before Magic Dice. So even doing a bit of a delay will have an interesting effect with some breath and movement. So I'm going to do one more. We'll do one more. I'm going to turn all of these off to make sure that we don't have any of these running. So let's choose, let's do something a little more abstract. So this is from, this is one of my own sound recordings where I was on the East Coast and there was iced over water, like in a little creek, I guess it was a creek, and walking on it, or just breaking it up. So it got some really interesting sounds there. So let's pull that one in. We'll turn it down a little bit. It's probably gonna be a little loud. And I'm just gonna do a little section. And let's see. So what's cool about this is you could use this as a percussive element in something, or a little piece of flair as a percussive element in a transition, or just to bring some percussive elements into your work. So what if we do with the delay? Turn that off. Let's try and stretch it out a little bit more. What does it sound like with the magic dice? That's pretty cool. I mean, you could use this in a drum rack or in Simpler if you wanted to do that. Or a sampler if you don't have Ableton. You could use this in a granular synth. So there's a lot of options here that you can use very simple sounds, things recorded around your house or your environment, or even samples that you might have, and kind of transform them into something very different. So that's what I wanted to show you here, with not a lot, only a few effects, and effects that are most likely going to be included in your DAW or come with Ableton, or like, Magic Dice are free. And if you don't have those, pick them up because they're awesome. So that's what I wanted to show you for this module on how to use PaulXStretch with a lot of different types of sounds to create something new. So I would love for you to try it yourself and see what kind of results you get. I think you'll have fun with it.